Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Before we do the Isal Thawab towards the blessed soul of our master, Sayyiduna Mufti Muhammad Akhtar Raza Khan Azhari, Rahmatullahi Ta'ala alayhi, I would like to mention very few things what we experienced. Inshallah, I will try to complete within 5 to 10 minutes. Hazrat Taj Sharia Mufti Akhtar Raza Khan, Rahmatullahi alayhi, the title Taj Sharia, that is the crown of Sharia, was gifted to him. He was honored with this title for being so firm in the Sharia and for being guiding the people all over the world with the rulings of Sharia. Being a great jurist of Islam, he had served as a great Mufti, a great Qazi of India as well, a Mufti among the Muftis, the Grand Mufti of India, and the one who was regarded as a Grand Mufti even by the scholars of Arab countries. So for his knowledge, for his piety, he was honored with the title, the crown of Sharia. Just a few things to mention about his memory, how Allah has bestowed him. Sayyidi Taj Sharia radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he did not do his Hifdul Quran during his young age, but when he was old, elderly, in that age, he used to listen to the Quran from one of his murid, and he used to memorize that Quran. Some pages, some ruku, he used to listen to it and memorize it. And you know the best part, Qasida Burda Sharif, what we used to recite, which takes about 45 minutes for us to complete, every day, twice he used to recite on his memory. Twice every day, after Fajr and after Asr. And once we were set at the residence of Janab Haji Abdul Sattar Katliya, my Ustaz Mufti Nurul Hasan Sahab Nuri, Qibla Damat Barakatuhumul Aliyah, was referring to the Fatawa Razawiyah Sharif, the book of Fatwa of Ala Hazrat, originally which contains about 12,000 pages. And with the translation and all, there are 30 volumes of that Fatawa Razawiyah. So Hazrat was looking for a matter in Fatawa Razawiyah, and my Ustaz was reading it, and Hazrat was telling, after this you will find this ibarat. After this you will find this matter what Ala Hazrat has spoken. You will find this verse, this hadith related to this law will be in the next page. Such a memory was gifted to Hazrat Taj Sharif. And when he was giving us the dars of Bukhari Sharif, many people were there, we were also seated there. So Hazrat was reading Bukhari Sharif, he was giving the explanation of Bukhari Sharif, the commentary of Bukhari Sharif. While reading one hadith, he says that next page, in the next chapter, you will find similar hadith. Another hadith in this page you will find in this manner. So he was telling it in such a manner that everything is in front of him. And further, he was talking about a law that what about the questions in the grave, whether it will be for the believers only, or for the believers and kuffar, or for the believers and the munafiq. So there was a big argument among the great scholars, including the people of pious predecessors, Tabain, Tabain. There was a great argument on that. The conclusion was the question will be asked from the believers as well as from the hypocrites. Kuffar won't be questioned, the questions what we get, Mar Rabbuka ma dinuka ma kunta taqulu fi haqqi hadha rajul. So this was given as a conclusion. So Hazrat was referring, he said that Allama Ibn Abdul Bar, he mentioned this way, another scholar mentioned in this manner, this hadith was referred which is in Bukhari Sharif, and so scholar gave the explanation of that hadith in this way. He referred for about few minutes, and he said in a book by Sayyidina Sheikh Abdul Haq Muhaddis Dehelvi Rahmatullahi alayhi, and also he referred to the book of Imam Jalaluddin Suyuti Shafi'i radiallahu anhu, who was a scholar of the about 7th century Hijri, a great scholar of Islam who had this privilege to see Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam physically about 72 times. Sayyidina Imam Jalaluddin Suyuti. So Hazrat was referring to his book, saying that he has written in this manner. So when I went home, I took that book and I checked that. As it is, the names mentioned by Hazrat at first was mentioned at first. The name mentioned by Hazrat in the second place was mentioned as it is. So next day we went to Hazrat again and we were having a discussion. Hazrat, yesterday what you said, we found in the book, and it was in the same order what you spoke. Then Hazrat said, actually 22 years ago I wrote an answer for this, so still it is in my memory. So the thing what he wrote 22 years ago, he was referring as it is. I personally checked the book of Imam Suyuti and I found exactly the same what Hazrat mentioned, including the first name what he mentioned was recorded, the second name what he mentioned was recorded at the second place. Allahu Akbar. And further, the memory and the knowledge and the wisdom of Huzur Tajush Sharia, Allahu Akbar, beyond explanation. I remember once, the second visit when Hazrat visited in Sri Lanka, first was in 87, second was in 91. So we, along with Janab Haji Jafar Katliya, while coming from the airport, Hazrat, while speaking in Urdu, he used to say some few words in English as well. Then Jafar Bhai asked, Hazrat, last time when you came, you didn't speak English. Now this time you speak some English words as well. I was also in the car at that time. Hazrat said, actually, in India and in Pakistan, usually we don't speak Urdu. Usually we don't speak in English. When I went to South Africa, people used to question me in English and I had to answer in English. And once I wrote the fatwa in English, I got practice to speak in English. He simply answered in this manner. I still remember the way he said, India, Pakistan में तो आमतौर से अंग्रेजी बोली नहीं जाती. साउथ अफ्रीका गया तो लोगों ने अंग्रेजी में सवाल किया, मैंने जवाब दिया, फिर इंग्लिश में एक फतवा लिखा तो प्रैक्टिस हो गई. अल्लाहु अकबर. सय्यदी ताजुश शरिया रहमतुल्लाहि तबारक व तआला अलैहि, his services to the nation, my dear brothers, after he lost his vision, that is, apparently he lost his vision. All the awliya Allah, even if apparently they lose their vision, their hearts are always alive. They can see what is happening in the world because it's a bestowal from Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. After this illness, that his eyesight was weak, he has done more works than he did during his healthy life. For example, I have seen it personally. My Ustad Mufti Nurul Hasan Nuri Sahab and the Damad, the son-in-law of Hazrat Maulana Shoaib Rahmatullahi Alayhi, they used to read a book of Ala Hazrat, which was in Arabic, and some books by some great scholars, which was also in Arabic. They used to read one ibarat, one line or two lines. Hazrat listens, immediately translates in Urdu, and another person writes it down. So this way the whole book in Arabic was translated in Urdu language, and some books of Ala Hazrat, such as Shumulul Islam, with regards to the excellence of the parents of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, about their iman, Al-Amn wal-Ula Lina'atil Mustafa Bidafi'il Bala, a book of Ala Hazrat, in which Ala Hazrat has proved that Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the authority holder, he is the ruler, and he has proved in light of about 60 verses and about 300 hadiths that Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam is remove of the calamities, the authority holder. So these books which were in Urdu language, it was read in front of Hazrat line by line. Hazrat used to translate in Arabic. Now those books are being published in Syria, in Arab countries. Even the Arab scholars, after reading those books of Ala Hazrat translated by Hazrat, they are also astonished to see the Arabic command of Hazrat Tajush Sharia. Even in front of me, a Sheikh of Kerala, Sayyid Abdullah Tangal, who used to visit Sri Lanka, he has opened a madrasa somewhere in Pulmutai, a ladies madrasa which is again still under construction. He told me, I was unaware about Ala Hazrat. Some scholar of Kerala, they wrote a book on Ala Hazrat, so I got to know. After reading the book of your Sheikh Tajush Sharia, I got more love towards Ala Hazrat. Such a command in Arabic language, and such way beautifully he has translated that book, which shows us the knowledge possessed by Ala Hazrat radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. What a great faqih, what a great muhaddis Ala Hazrat was, which we got to know through the translation of Sayyidi Tajush Sharia, Mufti Akhtar Raza Khan. And again, Sayyidi Tajush Sharia, you know, we recite Qasida Burda, we hardly understand the translation, but in that age, where he was weak, he had summarized the Qasidatul Burda, that is also in Arabic language. Qasida Burda is in Arabic language. He has summarized that in Arabic language. Likewise, he has authored many books, especially at the age where he was very much weak. He wrote many books. By dictating, he has written books. May Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala elevate his status further. May Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, by his barakah, grant all of us a part of ilm, what he possessed. Definitely, even if we get a part of knowledge, what he possessed, we will be regarded as ulama, because he was a wali of Allah, he is a friend of Allah, and the knowledge and the maqam, the ma'rifah, the state of a wali of Allah Ta'ala is not known by the ordinary people. It's beyond our imagination, my dear brothers. The command on the language, the command on ilm, on fiqh, on hadith, what he had, we don't need to say the great scholars, even yesterday, the scholars from Egypt, the scholars from Syria, they have spoken about the knowledge of Hazrat. They are also astonished, and they were very much saddened to listen to this demise of Sayyidi Taj al-Sharia, Mufti Akhtar Raza Khan rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi. By the barakah of Sayyidi Taj al-Sharia, may Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala grant all of us the shafaat of his Habib sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and may Allah grant a replacement for Hazrat, and may Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, the mission on which he was, the main mission was to be firm on the aqeedah of Ahlus Sunnati wal Jama'ah. Today in this era where everyone claims to be, we are on the right path, we are on the right path, we are on the right path, Sayyidi Taj al-Sharia showed us the path which was shown by Ala Hazrat as the path of the pious predecessors, that this is the true path, followed by Ala Hazrat, which was followed by Khaja Gharib Nawaz, which was followed by Ghausul Azam Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani, which was followed by the 4 Imams, which was followed by the Sahaba. That is the path showed by Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So to follow that path and to be firm on that path in an era where everyone was claiming to be on the right path, Sayyidi Taj al-Sharia showed us the real path, and the main thing what he said was, always be firm on the true love of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Just one stanza before I conclude my lecture. Sayyidi Taj al-Sharia rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi, such an ashiqur Rasul, in one of his stanzas he says, Allahu Akbar, when I saw Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when I saw not you physically, but when I saw the glimpse of yours, Ya Rasulullah, I have sacrificed my life. And when I reached the grave, Ya Rasulullah, I physically saw that it was you whom I saw. It is you for whom I sacrificed my life. Entire life of Sayyidi Taj al-Sharia was on the true love of Nabi Kareem sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. He taught us to be in the true love of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam and to follow the path of the pious predecessors. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.